Hello, and welcome to my talk today. I'm doing it a little later this evening than usual for reasons that will become apparent in a moment. I've discovered once again that whenever we start in one direction, things might end up differently than we had anticipated. As most of us know, yesterday some COVID-19 infections were confirmed in the Campbellton area. This has led to a step backwards in the reopening process. So please remember to pray for the people in that region and beyond as they live, and perhaps even we live through this setback. It's ironic that since writing this talk, the situation for the whole of our province has changed and not turned out as I was expecting. If you saw the earlier version of this, you will know that it's been altered in the light of events. My dad will be 92 on Tuesday of next week. On Monday of this week, he discovered that things don't always go according to plan. From early in the morning, he was climbing up and down a ladder, cleaning the gutters around 3 sides of the house. Unfortunately for him, the 4th side runs along the flat roof of a garage. So he decided that the best thing he could do was something he's done many times before: climb up on the roof in order to clear things up. Initially, everything went well. He cleaned out all the debris and then looked onto the pitched roof next to him and saw that 2 tiles were broken. He shouted across the street to a neighbour, Andy, to go down the yard and to pick up some new tiles from his stock. This was duly done, and in fact Andy joined him and replaced the tiles. It was then that the problem arose. For some inexplicable reason, my dad could not get off the roof. Eventually he was helped back to the ground, and I'm hoping that that is the last such adventure that he undertakes. By the time I spoke to him yesterday evening, he was finding the whole episode amusing. But I pointed out that he could have been up there all night, or even something worse might have happened. One of the things I've noticed during this pandemic is that often the things we do not have the expected outcome. These can be things we've done many times before, as with my dad climbing onto the roof. What we've generally done in a very short space of time is learn to adapt to meet the new situation. Yesterday, I went to the hardware store to buy lumber. It took twice as long than I had expected because of having to walk in the correct direction. I was not frustrated because in my head I now know that that is what has to be done. Many of us had hoped that if we wished, we would have been able to gather for worship in our church buildings on Sunday. Developments today mean that this has now been set back for at least a week. I'm also aware that this affects many other people and events across our province. As I've said before in these talks, the important thing to remember is that God is God, and we can worship Him where we are as well as when we gather. We pray for those who lead our province at this time, particularly Premier Higgs and Dr. Russell. We remember those who are sick, whether from COVID-19 or other things. We ask for God's grace to extend to all medical personnel and essential workers. Let us continue to pray that God will be merciful to us and bless us, that He will make His face to shine upon us and grant us peace. Amen. Thank you again for joining me, and God bless and stay safe.